Well, didn't even last a year. Didn't even last a year. Now, don't get me wrong, Donald Trump still has 3 years left in office. However, after the shellacking that the Republicans received in this latest set of elections, along with the coming midterms, where Republicans are almost certainly going to get shellacked once again, that will effectively end Donald Trump's ability to get pretty much anything accomplished. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens. But at the end of the day, this whole Epstein fiasco really has Donald Trump in between a rock and a hard place. I personally, don't know what the hell he was thinking, telling them to go ahead and release him. We got nothing to hide after months and months and months of trying his hardest for them to not be released, which obviously gets me thinking, and most people thinking that we're not actually going to see it. If we do, his name's going to be redacted, which we already have had plenty of reporting suggesting that that's already happened, and that that's going to be the case. Plus, through litigation and bureaucracy processes, I won't be surprised if we don't see the files. But I mean, at the end of the day, we've seen enough already. The information that has been released so far, and even before that fiasco, we know that Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein were friends for a very long time. We know that Donald Trump is someone who has dozens, or at least I think 14 the last time that there were, from off the top of my head, from what I can remember, sexual assault allegations against him. E. Jean Carroll was vindicated in her trial against him and her charges that she pressed. The comments that he's made about, like, I'm famous, so I grab him by the pussy and they don't even care because I'm entitled to it. That locker room talk, the fact that when he was a very, very grown ass man in his 40s, he owned a teenage modeling pageant. Like, I mean, why? And also his commentary about how he would just go peek inside the dressing rooms because it's his pageant. It's his right to do that, to check out a bunch of, half naked and naked teenagers. This is who this man is, a man who has on the record many times talked about how, you know, hot his daughter is and how sexually attracted he is to Ivanka. This is who this man is. So even before this Jeffrey Epstein fiasco debacle, we knew what kind of a pervert he was, right? But then, him coming into office and just completely destroying everything, tearing everything down, ruining the economy. Recently, he's reversing tariffs on a variety of items. And what an admission of defeat at the end of the day, because this dude has a historically low approval rating and a historically high disapproval rating for, his time in office. His approval rating is at 36%. His disapproval rating is 55.5%. Over half of Americans. You poll Republicans. Everyone blamed him for the shutdown. Well, not everyone, but most people blamed him for the shutdown. He's lost Latino voters. He's lost the youth vote. I mean, it hasn't even been a year, and this dude has just completely collapsed. Because Americans have very short memories, and unfortunately, tens of millions of people forgot how disastrous his first term was. And also, unfortunately, his second term is going to turn out way worse because he's still got so much more time left. And even as a lame duck president, he can still cause damage. He can still cause a ruckus. And just like a wounded animal in a corner, we can expect him to get a lot worse. 45 members of Congress announced that they're not running for re-election. Nancy Pelosi being one of them, who's 85 years old. A lot of people in the House and the Senate are in their 70s, 80s. So many of them either are not running for re-election because it's just time to move on, or they may have one more term and then that'll be it. So naturally, we're the path is being cleared for fresher faces, fresher ideas, more progressive policies. And progressive policies not necessarily meaning universal health care, but we can expect things like the minimum wage to be raised sooner than later now, because there's so much hunger for that, and more opportunity with younger politicians to actually get that done. Raising the minimum wage, at least expanding Medicaid, Medicare, at least that at a minimum, if not pushing for some type of a public option, because single payer healthcare is still going to be in the discussions. Whether or not we actually get that anytime soon or not, that's still definitely going to be in the talks. What we're going to do about all of the debt that we've accrued as a nation, not just the national debt, but things like credit card debt, household debt, student loan debt. Um, what we can do about a wealth tax. Can we raise the taxes on the wealthy by 2%, like Mom Donnie's trying to do? There's a lot of opportunity to show improve progressive policies right now. But Donald Trump is just in a terrible position. He just is. And I really don't know what the hell he was thinking, saying go ahead and release the files, because anything that we see in there, if his name's not redacted, then he's just gonna try to deflect. Oh, look, squirrel, there's other people in the files too. Why are we just talking about me? As if that nullifies the things that he has done. But there's no question that he and Jeffrey Epstein were close. I mean, that's really not up for debate. But Donald Trump lies about things that you see right in front of your face. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just lies every time he opens his mouth. Um, you know, and just with his warmongering, what we got going on with Venezuela, him slashing programs that people need, decimating SNAP, all the people that have been fired illegally, and all they really got now is more posturing with things like ICE, sending the troops to the cities. I mean, you fucking up the economy. What else are you going to do? And that's all that his core supporters. That's all they have left. Let's go after the immigrants. Let's kick everybody out of here, which they won't be able to successfully do. But that's all they got left, which the overwhelming majority of the country isn't. One, most people aren't in favor of what ICE has been doing, but also it's just not the number one concern for most Americans. Most Americans are more concerned about the affordability of things, if their kids have a solid future, stuff like that. So the worse the economy gets, the more unpopular Trump's going to become, and ultimately the more unpopular his platform is going to become. We're already in a recession that's going to continue to worsen. So it's really not looking good for the Donald. But at the end of the day, this is the bed that he made. And unfortunately, this is the bed that we made collectively as a country.
Hey now, thank you so much for tuning in here at Politics and Paper. If you like what I do and you support my work, go ahead and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it and it really helps to support what we do here.